Arena of Blood and Whispers. Rome, 80 AD. Under the burning Mediterranean sun, 80,000 voices roared as one. The massive stone structure stood like a mountain carved by gods, the mighty Colosseum. To the world, it was a symbol of Roman power. To the emperors, it was proof of dominance. But to the men standing beneath its shadow, it was something far darker. The grand opening games were ordered by Emperor Titus. For 100 days, the empire would celebrate. But celebration in ancient Rome did not mean music and laughter. It meant blood. Beneath the arena floor was a hidden world few citizens ever imagined, a maze of tunnels known as the Hypogeum. Dark, damp corridors twisted beneath the sand. Iron cages rattled with starving lions. Prisoners trembled in chains. Gladiators stood silently, knowing that once the gates opened, only one would walk back alive. Above them, senators laughed. The Colosseum was not just entertainment. It was control. Rome's rulers understood something terrifyingly powerful: give the people spectacle, and they will forget their suffering. Bread and circuses. Food in one hand, violence in the other. As the crowd screamed, two gladiators stepped into the blinding sunlight. Their armor glittered, but their eyes betrayed fear. One was a seasoned fighter, scarred and hardened. The other barely more than a boy, sold into slavery after Rome conquered his village. The horn sounded. Steel clashed. Shields splintered. Sand turned dark red. The crowd demanded death. And the emperor's thumb decided fate. But what the cheering masses didn't see were the secrets hidden within the arena's walls. Secret passages allowed the emperor to enter unseen. Political enemies were sometimes executed in accidents disguised as games. Exotic animals from Africa and the Middle East were slaughtered not for survival, but for spectacle. Thousands died not because of crime, but because fear kept the empire united. And then there were the stories whispered in the dark. Some gladiators were forced to fight their own friends. Prisoners of war were dressed as mythological characters and killed in elaborate reenactments. Entire naval battles were once simulated by flooding the arena floor. The engineering was brilliant, but the cruelty was beyond imagination. Yet the darkest secret was not the violence. It was the silence. Because beneath the roar of 80,000 spectators, there were moments. Brief, chilling moments, when the arena felt haunted. Survivors spoke of hearing cries long after the games ended. Workers claimed shadows moved inside the tunnels when no one was there. Some believed the spirits of thousands never left. When Emperor expanded the underground chambers, he didn't just improve the spectacle, he deepened the darkness. More cages. More mechanisms. More control. And more death. But here's the truth history rarely tells. Not all gladiators were criminals. Many were prisoners. Some were heroes forced into chains. And occasionally, just occasionally, a fighter won freedom. When that happened, the crowd erupted in admiration. Because deep down, even in a place built for brutality, humanity still flickered. Still, as night fell over Rome and torches dimmed, workers washed blood from the sand. The empire slept peacefully, unaware that the foundation of their greatest monument was soaked in suffering. The Colosseum stood tall. But it was built on pain. And this was only the beginning. Because centuries later, when the empire fell and silence replaced applause, new secrets would emerge from its crumbling stones. If you think you know the Colosseum, you've only seen the surface. The real darkness was still waiting beneath. And in Chapter 2, we descend deeper. But before we step into the shadows, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because history isn't just dates and ruins. It's stories they tried to bury. And we are here to uncover them. Echoes beneath the ruins. Centuries passed. The Roman Empire collapsed. The crowds disappeared. The roar of the arena faded into silence. Wind swept through broken arches of the Colosseum, carrying dust instead of cheers. But the darkness never truly left. After Rome fell, the Colosseum was abandoned. Earthquakes shattered its walls. Stones were stolen to build palaces and churches. Nature began reclaiming what once symbolized absolute power. Yet locals whispered that something still lingered. In medieval times, the Colosseum became a fortress. Later, it was used as a quarry. And at one point, it was even believed to be a sacred site, honoring Christian martyrs who were said to have died there. But historians still debate how many of those executions actually happened inside its walls. What we do know is this: thousands met violent ends there. And places marked by intense suffering tend to leave echoes. Explorers who entered the underground chambers centuries later described suffocating air and overwhelming unease. The hypogeum, once filled with roaring animals and clanging chains, became a labyrinth of shadows. Torchlight flickered across walls scratched with ancient markings. Some believed they were prayers. Others believed they were warnings. In the 18th and 19th centuries, as archaeology began uncovering Rome's past, workers rediscovered the underground mechanisms. Elevators powered by slaves, trapdoors that launched beasts into the arena, intricate pulley systems far ahead of their time. The Colosseum wasn't just a place of death. It was a machine. A perfectly engineered theater of fear. And here lies the darkest realization of all. The violence was organized. Systematic. Designed for maximum impact. This wasn't chaos. It was calculated. Modern visitors walk through its arches taking photographs, unaware that beneath their feet lies a network where men once waited to die. Tour guides speak of architecture and emperors, but rarely dwell on the screams. Because it's easier to admire stone than confront suffering. And yet, there's another side to this darkness. The Colosseum survived. Empires fell. Wars reshaped Europe. Technology transformed civilization. But the Colosseum still stands in Rome, weathered but unbroken. It became a symbol, not of cruelty, but of history's lessons. Today, it represents the dangers of power without compassion. It reminds us how easily entertainment can desensitize a society. And it forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. What do we cheer for? What do we ignore? What darkness hides beneath modern spectacles? Because the Colosseum isn't just an ancient ruin. It's a mirror. A reminder that civilizations can achieve greatness in engineering, art, and governance, while still committing unimaginable cruelty. As night falls in Rome today, lights illuminate the arches of the Colosseum. Tourists gather. Cameras flash. Laughter echoes. But if you stand quietly, if you close your eyes, you might imagine the distant roar of 80,000 voices. You might feel the tremor of the arena floor. You might sense the weight of history pressing against stone. The dark secrets of the Colosseum are not just about bloodshed. They are about humanity itself. Our hunger for spectacle, our struggle with morality, and our capacity for both brutality and change. And perhaps that is why it still fascinates us. Because in its shadow, we confront who we were. And who we might become. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden secrets, don't forget to subscribe and join our growing community of history explorers. Hit the like button, share this story with someone who loves ancient mysteries, and let us know in the comments which historical place we should uncover next. The stones are silent. But their stories are not. And we are just getting started.